You are tuned to Heartbeat of America.
So stay with us as Heartbeat of America presents its special edition, Keeping America Strong.
We are back again with our representatives from the Harrington Group, Dr. H. James Harrington and Rick Harrington, heads of their own individual companies. Let me begin by asking how this actually began. I mean, one of you heads the Harrington Institute, the other heads the Harrington Group. One's in California, the other's in Florida. How'd you get together?
Well, Doug, it's quite interesting. When I worked for Martin Marietta Aerospace as an engineer, that's when I first run across PCs. And I needed a way to quickly analyze my data in more of a real-time basis. And from there, they were using mostly mainframe computers. So I decided to break away from the company, and I started writing software to help in the quality management field. And when I did, the first program I wrote was called The Cost of Quality, which we talked a little bit about. I wrote that software based on Dr. Harrington's book. He wrote a book on the cost of poor quality. And it was one of my assignments when I was in Martin Marietta, was to determine what their cost was. And from that, I ended up selling 1 million copies of the cost of quality software. And I said, you know what, this is working. So then I started working on the other titles, the corrective action, the document control.
Did he know you were doing this?
Forth. Yes, at that time we were communicating quite a bit. We were doing some seminars together. And we were just really learning how this would work together as a team.
Did you realize, Doctor, it was going to work like this, work out this well?
Yeah, as it continued along, I eventually I was chairman of the board for a long period of time, working with him. I became a principal with Ernst & Young.
Yeah.
And of course, I couldn't directly work with him, and so I was on his board. And then after I completed that and I started my own company, then we came together very closely, and that was about 2000 where we really started working closely together.
So the point is, how does it work now? I mean, each of you have your own individual clients, that you work for, but for example, Rick, when you're called in to create software for a company, and if you realize there's a problem with the company and you think their management could be improved, you recommend that they bring in Dr. Harrington?
Well, absolutely.
And vice versa, right.
The thing that we do mainly is develop off-the-shelf software. Now, we do customize work when we see a company is requiring the more customized version of our software. Okay,
all right.
And you can't go in and really do anything with a company today without addressing their software problems. The IT is absolutely crucial, right down to the point that probably the biggest single aspect of any company as far as their assets are concerned is their knowledge. And so knowledge management system is a very important part. But you've got to have an IT system to support it. So as I go in and I start looking at where your problems are and cleaning up the processes, taking all the no value added out, then you tie that all together. I think of the software more like the reinforcement bar in cement. It holds it all together. And that keeps it going.